Hey, you guys, you're going to want to listen all the way through this episode, if only to find out what made Kelly bumping in her dorm room.
And let's see if you'll agree that in the 90s, Speedos weren't cool.
You're
Now
not wrong.
they're uncool either. Please agree with us.
And following along that fashion faux pas, Sharon explains to us what a tankini is and why she was wearing one in the 90s.
Why not?
Exactly. Enjoy the show, everyone.
Hey, you guys, it's us.
Hello.
Hello. That's Kelly. Oh, right over there, yeah, you got your Adam and me. I'm Sharon. Welcome to 90s Now. We have got fun to get to. Now, we're going to tell you how close Wolfgang Van Halen will always be with his late great dad. We've also got some Michael Jackson movie news. Kelly's trivia will require a pen, paper, and encyclopedic knowledge on matters who knows you didn't know you needed to know, but you will, and then you'll know. Also, your 90s rewind puts your memory wheels in motion all the way back to the year that Prince sang about 15 years earlier. And Madonna wrapped up her world tour exactly as you'd imagine she would. A nice quiet gathering of just a select few fans. Just kidding. Let us start there, you guys. If you were thinking like an intimate concert was any way that Madonna would have done for her final show of this incredible tour, well, you're nuts. Except that you'd be kind of right, because I'm pretty sure that's how everybody felt in Rio. And by everybody, I mean the 1.6 million people in attendance for what was a free show for her Brazilian fans. Isn't that incredible? Free.
Yeah. I
1.6 million, also incredible.
Did you see the drone footage?
I've seen some.
It's like I honestly I'm so happy for her. Like
Yeah.
I'm delighted for her that she, and again, like not that it should matter, but at 60 whatever years old, she pulled in 1.6 million people to a show, and like only she could pull this off with, I'm sure, so much like just I'm sure there was so much like love and joy in the crowd. Like she's got a good audience that would do that for her.
Well, you think of how many people were maybe a bit miffed at the idea that the tour had to be rescheduled and stuff, but I mean, the truth of it is she had an infection and she almost died.
Hmm.
Like she had to relearn to do some physical things before, you know, being anywhere near show ready. But that's Madonna. So she was committed. I'm sure she's committed to life, but certainly committed to getting back on stage, and she did it. And we've seen her. It was incredible.
Hmm.
It's one of those 40-year career things where you're like, oh my gosh, like been a vital element of, the last 4 decades. It's incredible.
Yeah. And I think I'm not sure what was in the article I share with you guys, but like to think that her last, like her record breaking show before that was in 1987 in Paris,
Yeah.
which now those numbers sound like peanuts to 130,000 people.
Well, it's over 10 times more people
Yeah.
this time around. And she charged those 130, I think, right?
Yeah.
130,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty incredible. And I think that like I said, I think no matter how many people were there, everybody felt special because they were there.
Oh yeah.
I'm just surprised the city managed to have 1.6 million people show up somewhere
Yeah.
and not everything going like
Bananas.
out of hands.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
we do that here in our city of Montreal? Where would we start was
Oh.
stack 1.6 million people?
And we know and it could have happened in Rio too, but maybe because it was on the beach, maybe the vibe was a bit more chill. Maybe they're not as angry as some other parts of the world. I find that people, if they know that there's going to be a crowd gathered, they're going to take advantage of that and start a riot somehow that has nothing
Well,
to do with the reason that they're
yeah.
gathered, but it's just opportunistic for the negative.
And you need a big beach.
You need
I
a
mean,
big beach.
clearly they have
She's
it.
been called worse.
It's true. And you know what's interesting is if you look at her Instagram, where she thanked people the next day, you know, she actually tagged the singer Anita, who like I'm a fan of, and I actually checked Anita's Instagram following. This woman has 65 million people following her.
Wow.
So I think she and this other singer that was also tagged helped lead the charge, because I'm sure that's, you know, their home turf, and so they helped to make it happen. But I love that Madonna shouted them out, and
Hmm.
yeah, and anybody who hasn't seen it yet has to watch that drone footage. Like like you get goosebumps seeing all these people showing up for her. It's outstanding.
I think that's such a great, I mean, we love to talk about 90s. That's the whole point of 90s now, but the connection to the now is pretty incredible to think that, you know, she had 130,000 in that at that Paris show in 1987. We don't have footage from that from the air,
Yeah.
you know, but now we have access to drone footage and
Yeah.
easily. It's pretty incredible. I mean, that's and that's I think speaks to her, you know, 40-year career and how she's still very now.
Yeah. And I hope her children, who were very amazing when we saw them here in Montreal,
Yeah.
on some level were able to take all this in and to realize, I mean, I know she's mom to them, but like this is next level achievement.
I think that's the kind of thing that, you know, you think of any other star that we know that has kids that goes on the road with them. Like even if you're used to it, if you're immersed in it, I can't imagine it's something that's easy to like visually digest or to comprehend exactly what's happening with tens of thousands of people. And in this case, 1.6 million people are
Yeah.
here to see my mother, is what these kids are
Yeah.
sort of having to process. You know, it's a completely different existence, I think, from what we have.
Yeah.
And for these artists that have reached this level, that we know their history, we know they grew up similar to the way we did. It's neat that they're a complete, you know, not even just next level, it's like a few levels out of the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And they still try to maintain a level of, you know, air quotes normalcy, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
Pretty wild. Pretty wild. So those are a lot of numbers we just dropped on you. Here's hoping as we head into our next feature that Kelly has not brought the requirement of a calculator to trivia. But are we ready for this?
Hey.
No, are we ever?
No, you're right. We're not.
90s now to trivia.
Bing bong.
You got that right. Bing
Quick,
bong.
quick sidebar, Adam, when you're after we've done trivia, can you just quickly look at how many people are in the Montreal population? Because I think her concert almost equals our Montreal population. Like,
Wow.
we might be at 2 million, but I don't think we are. I don't think.
Um, so in 2017, which seems to be the latest survey we have, we were 1.8 million people
Isn't that
on the
crazy?
island of Montreal.
Wow.
So all of Montreal essentially was
Yeah,
hanging
right.
out with Madonna.
Pretty wild.
Whoo!
And
That's
what's cool is that there might have been Montrealers at that.
yeah. Yeah, I think that would, I hope there were. I hope there were. And I didn't hear any acts of violence stories, so hopefully there was none of that either.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Um, all right. Trivia question number one.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the art and literature category.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is set in which city?
Sharon.
Go, Sharon.
New Orleans.
Ooh, that's a good guess, but no.
Yeah.
Did you read that book or watch that movie? I don't remember. Was it a movie?
I might have seen the movie, but it's a long time ago. That was Kevin Spacey and wasn't it?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
What is the question again?
I'll tell you. It's
Midnight.
midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil
Yeah,
or
is
something.
set in which city, Adam?
It sounds like something that would happen in London.
Oh, that's a good guess. Also, no.
You know,
Um,
it could have been London, Ontario, then London, UK.
Is it Paris, Texas?
exactly. It is Savannah, Georgia.
Ah, see, I
Oh,
was close with a southern
Yeah,
flair.
yeah. I like a Southern flair. Funny enough, the daytime Emmys are coming up soon on the 7th of June.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an actress that's nominated from my favorite soap opera, The Young and the Restless. And I haven't heard them say it out loud, but I'm pretty sure they are pronouncing her name like American way, even though for us here it would be Lanier was her last name, but I'm sure she's Lanier. And
Lanier, yeah.
I had that thought again about how many Americans from New Orleans and all that sort of stuff, everything is not what they would be called here in Quebec. So,
No. And then there's like an extra accent on it, which is really cool.
yeah. And anyways, I still have to go down there for some shrimp.
You totally have to go to New Orleans. It's so cool.
Maybe we can road trip, share.
I'm in.
Okay, good.
Do it.
All right, question number 2 in the pop culture category. Which type of beachwear became everyday clothing in the 90s?
Which type of beachwear became everyday clothing
In the 90s.
in the 90s?
I love that Adam actually looks legit puzzled.
Huh.
Beachwear. Oh man, I feel like I should know this because I might have worn it.
Is it like a kind of hat?
No.
Oh.
Is it like Bermuda shorts?
No, but it's the southern half of your body.
Is it like sandals, Crocs,
No.
Is it like
Speedos?
Please God, no.
Imagine Speedos were everyday wear.
Wow. That was enough when they were everyday wear when I was growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
Youch.
This is why I'm gay. Anyways,
Yeah, it's funny, eh? Women in Speedos, no problemo.
yeah,
Men in Speedos, think about it again before you
Yeah.
leave the house. Pick another costume de bain.
yeah, exactly.
Well, there aren't many things you can wear down there.
That's true.
I like that I
So-
use the words
Down there, and his eyes sort of go up like. I give up, Kel.
All right. Sarongs.
Oh my
What are sarongs?
gosh, I totally was gonna guess that in jest.
Were you?
I
How do you
swear to
spell
God.
that?
Sarongs. It's a wrap around your
Mm.
You know, it sounds so wrong, but back in the day, it was
Yeah.
so right.
See, I thought about it. Sorry, I didn't listen to your joke. It was a good one. Boom.
Adam, what's the French word for that?
I don't know because I was looking like I had that image in mind and I couldn't put a word onto it. So I did not adventure that answer.
What does Google Translate say for a sarong?
Nope. Let me check.
Let's see. This will be great. I would never.
It translates to sarong.
Oh, okay.
Sarong.
So literal translation.
Very
Huh.
nice. Did you ever port one of these? Sure.
Sarong, it wraps around your waist, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's got
Yeah.
maybe some fringe to it.
Yeah. It's
I'm gonna go
usually
with no.
it's usually a see-through number.
Ooh, yeah, it was more of the shorts and like a tankini kind of thing.
Yeah. A tanky.
Yeah.
Tankini.
Well, like you have the shorts and you have like a tank top,
I like
bathing
that.
suit top. Sporty. We all play volleyball, Sharon? Why, yes, I do.
Yes.
That
In
sort
my
of thing.
tankini.
In my tankini. I'm ready. Girls are good. Let's go.
Ah.
No one's falling out. Ready to play.
Everybody snap to attention. We're ready to go.
Exactly. The 90s. Everybody
Yeah.
was at attention. Hmm.
Back to you, Sharon. That's enough of my trivia.
That's enough of gravity talk. Okay, so Wolfgang Van Halen is still killing it, wowing the crowds, playing amazing shows that draw from his 2 albums. His dad pretty much gave him his professional start by bringing him to work that day to perform as the bass player in Van Halen. So naturally, he came out of the solo gate pretty much having to prove himself on his own, obviously. But he did that, and he did it when he was playing bass with Van Halen. And you know, the late great Eddie Van Halen as Wolfie's dad is never far from him, quite literally. He's got a thumbprint on a ring and on a necklace, and some of his dad's ashes are in that necklace. So what he said about that, which is pretty cool, He said, he's hanging on my neck. Every show I've ever played, he's with me all the time, no matter what. So even if I don't feel him spiritually, I can get away with saying he's literally here with me at all times, which
I
I
think
think is
that's
pretty
awesome.
cool. It's quite an honor,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
it's a nice way to do that. This is coming off of news about James Hetfield having some of Lemmy Kilmister's um, ashes. Lemmy, the lead singer and co-founder of Motorhead, who
Is
died
it
a few
really?
years back. He had some ashes and he had it put in ink, and he had the Ace of Spades, which is a signature Motorhead tune. He had the Ace of Spades tattooed, so with that ink and ash combo on one of his fingers on his strumming hand.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is next level fandom.
Yeah. So his
Wow.
ashes are basically in him.
Wow.
As
That's
yeah.
I've
It's
never heard of that.
it's cool and creepy at the same time.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
that should be the tagline in the tattoo shop. Cool and creepy. This is how we roll.
Yeah. What is your form of art? That's cool and creepy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in.
My God, that's me. But when I read the story about Wolfie, I thought that was really amazing that he did that. And it's funny, and Sharon, I'm sure you can attest to this. Like I since he's passed away and since Wolfie has opened up even a little bit here and there over the years, um, he feels like to me one of the celebrities that has shared the most, like how devastated he is at the
Mm-hmm.
loss of his father.
Agreed. He's very honest about that grief. He's very honest about just his overall communication is respectful and open. And when he deals with um there's always going to be someone that says you're not as good as your dad, whatever. There's always someone that says something, and he handles them so amazingly because he doesn't just say nothing, and he's not rude, but it's basically he'll respond with like a hey, thanks for your opinion that nobody asked for, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But honestly, there's those people that just have that mindset that like he's not trying to be better than his dad.
No.
No.
I mean, he knows who his dad was, and first and foremost, it was his father. So his father just happened to be one of the greatest guitar players of, in rock history. So, but to him, primarily, it's his dad.
Hmm.
So, and his dad happened to be a great mentor to him and provided him with a really great experience to get to, explore his own creativity and his own instrumental strength, which he's got. He's really good.
You know what's infuriating is that like let's say these two like Eddie and Wolfie owned like a shower curtain ring shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody would say Jack anything about how he would be following in his dad's footsteps to like continue the shower ring curtain like
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
But because it's a rock star lifestyle or whatever. And the thing is like the door may have been open, but like if he wasn't good, it still wouldn't be open. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, the other
So,
thing is that in any job, the door can be open, but like you have to like make sure your foot is in, and then once you're in, you still have to do it.
Yeah.
yep.
Like I think anybody that has a relative in their band that, if he wasn't good, he wasn't going to get to play,
Yeah, well,
you know?
even just like Bono's kids, like his daughter. I love Eve. She's an amazing actress. She makes me
Yeah,
laugh so much, and I'm like, and had I not known, because she goes by Houston, which Bono doesn't go by, like, I
right. Yeah.
Mhm.
mean, and then you've talked before about his son in the band that they've
Mm-hmm.
totally earned their
What's the
stripes.
name of the band? I keep forgetting it.
Inhaler.
Inhaler. Yeah,
I
and
Yeah.
was
they're
supposed
so
to call
good.
them the Interrupters.
Yeah, that's another band. I think Interrupters are from Boston, I think. But they're great.
Yeah. So, anyways, but that's like the things like there can be nepotism anywhere, but if you don't prove yourself, it doesn't matter.
Right. And the other thing is that if you're not good, I don't think that there's a compulsion for the person who's in the band to keep their relative in just because they're their relative. It really does affect the product if they're not good, and then people will stop coming to the shows.
Yeah.
So which affects the
Yeah.
bottom line, really. So you can't really mess with your legacy that way.
Yeah.
But he's
Well,
quite good, so
because I don't know what the latest was, but I remember I was watching that Bobby Brown docu-series, and I
Mm-hmm.
know his oldest son, I think, wanted to sing backups for him.
Right.
I don't think I finished the series, but uh like there was something about like Bobby was like, like you have to be good. You can't just be my backup singer.
Yeah.
Which because yeah, like Bobby is still trying to make coin, right? Because people still want to see Bobby Brown. So
Yep.
I thought that was interesting too. Because yeah, like you said, your legacy, you can't shoot it in the foot by having your kid who
No.
sucks up on stage.
I mean, you could do whatever you want with your legacy, that's for sure, but people will stop showing up if you're not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then too, you see like, Gloria Estefan's daughter, Emily, who is a beast.
Yeah.
Like she's so ridiculously talented on so many different instruments, and her dad obviously a very talented musician also. So like, yeah, the apple doesn't necessarily need to fall far from the tree. Like sometimes it just does and it works and it's all good.
Yep. You are right. Now, speaking of apples and trees and relatives, the guy that got to play Michael Jackson in that new biopic bears a striking resemblance to MJ, and it's likely because it's his nephew.
Mm,
Jafar Jackson is Jermaine's 27-year-old son, and with the makeup and the vintage outfits, he really does look like Uncle Michael,
mhm.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, So, and here's the fun thing too. I think, it helps. The look helps. He probably has a similar voice. He's got all the pieces, but this is his first acting job,
Yeah.
How old is he?
27.
Okay.
And so the director, Antoine Fuqua, gave him praise and said it goes beyond the physical resemblance. It's Michael's spirit that comes through in a magical way. You have to experience it to believe it. Seed planted, sir. Well done. We'll get to see this movie. Is it next June?
It's
June 2025?
yeah, for sure it's next year. It might maybe you say June, so maybe it'll drop
Or
on
no, April, I think.
anniversary. Okay.
Yeah. What's happening in June is, the 15th anniversary of Michael Jackson's passing.
Is
15
it going to
years
be
this
15
year.
years?
Isn't that wild?
Great.
Wow.
Bananas, man. The other thing about that movie is that there's other known actors, like Coleman Domingo plays Joseph Jackson, who was and Coleman Domingo himself properly loathsome in The Color Purple. Who else? Miles Teller plays John Branca, who was the guy that replaced Joseph Jackson as Michael's manager. So those are two pretty big names that are, you know, acting alongside with Michael's nephew in his first acting role.
Yeah, and everything I've heard so far is that he's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be neat.
Yeah, will you watch Sharon?
I will watch.
Very good.
Of
Adam?
course, we'll watch.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, how about this then, you guys? A 90s rewind that takes us back to the end of our
Okay.
favorite decade. The
I'm
summertime
ready.
sadness of our, of our favorite. No, it actually was springtime, and it was 1999. And Baby One More Time
Ooh.
from Britney Spears
Mm.
was everywhere. And if we're making a 90s now connection, Jack Black and Kyle
Oh, yeah.
Gass, Jack Black was going somewhere, a movie premiere or something, and a group of kids stopped him and said, "Hey, will you finish this line?" And they sang a line from Baby One More Time, and that was what Jack Black was supposed to sing. And he did it. So they gave him the line, and he sang "Hit Me, Baby," like in total Jack Blackness. And he has since Tenacious D'd it with Kyle Gass, the whole song. So you can see that on social media.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Oh, so good. Let's take the energy level down a little bit and step into the funeral parlor to hear Sarah McLachlan's Angel. It's true, that's a song that still gets played at memorial services everywhere. Beautiful song. And the hardest thing was hearing 98 Degrees, which wasn't hard at all. Great song there. How about Faith Evans and that fantastic album of hers from 1990? Was it 98, 99, late 98, early 99? And the song All Night Long.
Oh yeah.
Dance, 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 clap your hands, hands, hands. Come on, all night long. Also catchy earworm from Eagle Eye Cherry and Save Tonight.
Love that song.
Loving it. And just because I wanted more than a handful of songs, I'm going to throw some Lenny Kravitz your way, just so we can talk about the leather pants. Fly Away was a song that we were hearing in 1999, and there's a new level of leather pants because he's gone viral with that video where he was working out at the gym in his leather pants and boots, doing
What?
like angled bench presses. And he's basically saying, hey man, I don't do all my workouts in leather pants and boots, but if I'm doing weights, like strength day kind of thing, I don't sweat that much, so I will for that. If I'm doing cardio, it's sweatpants for sure. But
Is that a recent video?
Yeah.
oh
I
yes, I
have not
highly
seen it yet.
advise.
Okay.
It's gone viral, just because his body is spectacular and he's quite taut.
It's funny
But incredible.
when you said the Fly Away, I was like, so did little Lenny.
So did little Lenny in a previous pair of leather pants. Peekaboo Kravitz.
Yeah.
We remember that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I actually was looking for a photo for something the other day, and I think it was 2015 that I found a picture of Kelly in my phone reacting to the image that I had shared with her of little Lenny and the soft leather that he was poking through. And
Yeah.
it's a combination of concern and disgust. Like,
Sounds like the Kelly I know.
I hope you keep that picture forever, Sharon.
Oh, Kelly Prudence Alexander.
Yeah.
Hey, that's your 90s rewind, by the way.
Thank you, Sharon.
Job. Good
Thank
job.
you.
We have an audience question to round out the show.
Ooh, what do we got?
So this
Cool.
is a nostalgia-based question.
Mm.
So I'm to ask you or to tell you the name of a song, and you're supposed to respond in like where you were when you either first heard it or what that song reminds you of.
Oh, good. Fun.
Good?
Yeah.
Adam looks nervous.
Ready? Well, I'll give it my best.
Adam, it's fully understandable that you were only 4 or 0 in 1994. So
Well, I might have heard it for the first time in 2012. Who knows?
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. So the song is Blackstreet's No Diggity.
Oh. Where I first heard it or remember hearing it or what
There,
kind of memory?
yeah, like whatever strikes you the most when I say that. Like even if it's like a special memory, like you were driving down the street and you were pumping it in the car, whatever. But
that probably either
Okay.
in the car or in the house. That CD is fantastic. There was such a great like 80s R&B, that synthy stuff that is so prevalent on that album
Mm.
that you could just tell where they came from. You could tell what music they grew up listening to, or maybe their parents listened to. And it was just it was perfect. That album is so cool. It's got talk bits in it, but no diggity. It's just like you can feel your arm reaching for the volume a little bit louder.
Mhm.
Loved it.
Yeah.
You?
For me, it takes me right back to being in university, like third year university, and just like, and it also makes me think of other songs that were released around that time. So it's like it just was like such an R&B haven, like for like Lauryn Hill. Janet Jackson's album was out. She was writing some of her singles. So I think, and then I think Blackstreet was actually on an I Get Lonely remix. So like all that sort of just screams to me like late 90s, amazing R&B, being in university and bumping it very loud in my dorm room.
She was bumping it in her dorm room. You heard it here first.
Let's go with that tagline.
I don't remember the first time I heard that song. It was probably 2009 when I started to listen to music, and I was in my basement on MSN
Oh yeah.
talking to my crush at the time with a YouTube playlist in the background.
Nice.
And it came up and I didn't know the title, and I probably looked it up because it's such a good freaking bop.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
It's a good bop.
But
So
I
you were
can't.
bopping in the basement. Kelly was
10 years later. 10 years too late.
Dorm room.
wow.
Yeah.
I feel I know you a little bit more now.
Don't tell my parents. They thought I was studying. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey, well, thanks for that. That's fun flashback.
Yep.
Keep those questions coming, you guys.
Fun.
And thanks for finding us. You know what? Finding us to listen to, but finding us to get in touch with us. Kelly, how would they do that?
They would find us on all of our social media at 90s Now FM.
All of them.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Blapchat.
Yeah.
I'm just making that one
Sure.
up. Blap chap and single pop. You know,
Sharon, I think you've just discovered a new social media platform.
blap chap.
I can't wait to see the logo, what Black Chat looks like.
He's like a Brit a little bit because he's a chap.
Okay, got it.
It's a work in progress. Not many people know about it.
Does
So
he hang out? What was the name of that woman that we had? That Sunshine Flanagan. No, what did we have?
oh, yeah.
We had a name with the plaid.
Chauncey, Flouncy.
Fancy.
Oh man.
That was good. Yeah.
Flouncy O'Donnell or something.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, that was it.
She's never far.
Yeah, she's never. Yeah.
Okay, before it gets too off the rails, we're gonna leave.
Okay.
Thanks you guys for finding us, for listening to us, and for being a part of it. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for listening to 90s Now, still happening.